Okay, can you hear me now? You can hear me okay? That seems like it's okay. I'm gonna mute that one, and you can hear me clicking. Well, that's good. I turned the echo off. Sometimes I just like to hear my voice 2 or 3 times as it rolls through the universe. Boy, that camera. Woo! Not my ideal. But anyway, I'll sit back. Hello. Okay, this is our first live stream, so we're still trying to figure things out, so forgive me as I scratch my ear. I have somebody watching that kind of tipped me in. Right now it looks like we're all good. I am going to have to add something because it just stopped working and I don't know why. So anyway, I'm Steve. This is Steve on PVCs. I haven't made any videos for a while because, well, life. So tonight, I did mute my stuff for all those who are hearing like kiwing. I turned it all off. Anyway, so I haven't made a video in a long time. So I really wanted to do something live for interaction, and this is kind of just a test night. We're just going to see how it goes. I think my mic may be a little loud. I'm going to back that down just a little bit. So anyway, I kind of just want to test things out and test the water. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just go through the comments. I've had so many comments, and they're so hard to keep up with. And they're great comments. They're great questions. So I feel I need to do them justice and go ahead and roll through them. So without further ado, let's go through that and just see what happens. And as always, if you're watching, I'm Steve on PVCs, and my camera's in the wrong spot. So I'm going to raise this up, woo, and do that again. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And if you would please, as many of you already have, just take a minute and please subscribe. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's get into it, as I say. Let's quit bubbling around and get her done. Now I'm going to try this move here. This is going to be new for me, so here we go. Alright, can you hear me now? Just. Again, this is our first live stream, so we're still kind of testing things out. Getting things figured out to where, you know, things are cool. Alright, so as long as you can read the text on the screen with me, or if not, just listen to my voice as we get this figured out as I zoom my individual camera lenses in. I'm getting a report to make it louder. Well, that's a mistake. Alright, let's try that. I'm going to put it right up to the yellow line and see what that is. I have a viewer checking things out for me, so if that viewer would send me a message again, let me know what the audio level is like now before we get started. I'm getting a word that that's good. Okay, and it seems like you can see me. Not that that really matters, because trust me, some days you do a little too. Alright, so here we are. These are my channel comments, as you can see in this little window right here. All right, so we're just going to go through these, and I'm going to pick out some good ones here. We're just kind of testing the live stream. It'll be a video for you to watch later. Let's do it. Okay, so 1 day ago. Wow, it's just a day ago. This is from Don. Hi, Don. Thank you for sharing. Just hearing someone else verbalize what you've been experiencing makes me feel better. When I try to explain PVCs to my wife, she looks at me like I'm nuts. Oh my God, wives. Ugh, no, I'm just kidding. My wife's actually really good about this stuff. There is no real way for anybody to understand it unless you have them. Okay? The level of sympathy you can get, I don't know. It varies from person to person, but these things are just scary as all shit, dude. You know it, I know it. The average person doesn't get it. Hell, doctors don't even get it. So it's a little difficult, but for those of us who know, it's bad. It sucks. I'm with you. I'm going to go ahead and like that one. That was good. Whoa, we're scrolling too fast. Let's use this letter over here. Donald Henderson, 3 days ago. Now, some of these are going to be old, and I apologize for not getting to this sooner, but it is what it is. I'm 51, been struggling with PVCs and rhythm since 29. Had a valve replaced 2 years ago. Just recently had a cardiac ablation for arrhythmia and AFib. Still struggle with PVCs every day. They suck ass. Quality of life is horrible. This channel helps. Thanks for. See, this is the thing that people don't understand. And I don't care if it's PVCs, AFib. I have atrial runs. I have PACs. I have PVCs, SVT, and SVT. If it's a VT, I got it, right? So if you have any of this stuff, it does suck ass, and it destroys your quality of life. I mean, look at it this way. If you have something happen to you that stops you being from who you were, then that's just bollocks. That's bullshit. And what compounds the struggle for that is when you seek help and you can't get it. Because insurance companies and doctors have said it's not worth the risk to have ablations for PVCs. If they're not, I think the burden has to be 20% or 21%, whatever the case may be per doctor, which is just, okay, understand the science of it. There is a risk to every surgery, but the quality of life, if you're 29 when this starts and you're 51, how many quality years have you lost? Explain that to a doctor or people that don't understand, and it's like talking to a wall. Well, they're not going to kill you. No, they're not going to kill me. But if my quality of life is greatly reduced, then what's the freaking point? You know, why not complain? Why not try to make changes? Why not try to get people to understand and make changes to the system? Because it's bollocks. And I know I hear people say, well, it is, there's a risk. They're doing stuff to your heart. Yeah. Well, that is true. And I do understand that. And I don't want to be too dismissive of that. However, they're not the one that has to live with it. It's our choice. You know, for instance, I saw a thing on TikTok. This lady was having extreme pain in her ankle. It was still functional, but there was just so much pain she couldn't live with it. So they cut it off. Well, there's risk to that. Infection, bone issues. I mean, any number of things. They lopped her foot off. Well, if I have PVCs for 20 years, 30 years, 10 years, 5 years, isn't that the same thing? Some people are going to say no, and I disagree. So let's move on. Anyway, that was Donald. Thank you, Donald. This is classic 4 days ago. I feel you, man. You're not alone. I have loads of PVCs. And now it's even worse. I get them with any effort. I am that type of person that reads a lot. I see saying it is dangerous in many places and not dangerous in other places. It sucks, man. Great point. Excellent. We're going to go ahead and bop that one right there. Let me move up here. I need to bop this one too. For years and years and years and years and years, I have had a doctor or doctors tell me these things aren't dangerous. I've read articles from other research that indicates that PVCs are an indicator of some other malady, right? So it's almost like these are the symptoms of something else. I think more research lends to the fact that they're benign if you have a structurally healthy heart. And I think that's where the delineation has to be made. Is if you have a structurally healthy heart, then you're probably going to be okay. But now if you get other problems, it can be, I think it can be dangerous. Because are the PVCs the result of something more catastrophic, or are they just the result of some bad wiring, or whatever the case may be? So classic, thanks for that. And see, that's a tough one because we just don't know for certain. Tactical Rocket. This is the winner for best name. Whoa, this is a bit of a long one, but so I'm going to paraphrase through here. You're definitely not alone. All doctors seem to be the same. Don't worry. Don't be nervous. Just relax. Yes, invalidated and belittled when you're scared to death. When a doctor walks into a room and says, you're going to be fine, they're going to, and then walks away, he's done you, or she has done you a great disservice. Because that means they've looked at the cold, hard science of it, which is absolutely necessary, but they have not looked at the quality of life and impact it has on mental health. As somebody who works in the mental health field, who is a professional in the mental health world, I don't make that distinction. If you go to a doctor and you have a pain in your side, you treat the pain in your side as effectively as you can. You do something about it. If you have PVCs and you find out that you're structurally okay, we don't do anything about it. Well, let me back it up. They'll throw medication at you. And if you're like me, none of this stuff works. It even becomes dangerous. And I wish I had my vitamin D bottle and my multivitamin bottle. I'll show you something, some interesting information that I have. But that is the case. They've just belittled you. They've invalidated everything you feel. And if they felt this all the time like we do, they'd shit their pants. We are, I hate to use this word, but because so many people use this word to really just use small and trivial things and make them bigger in life, but we're survivors of this stuff. To me, this is PTSD. I'll diagnose myself. I don't have my DSM-5 right here handy with me. You see my arm going off over there a little bit? Yeah, studio assistant brought my stuff in. Yeah, okay, so anyway, not to diminish you, Tactical, but you're right. And the worst thing they can tell you is not to worry about it, because you're going to, and you're going to worry constantly. And why tell somebody not to? The thing is in my experience, I've had these since my early to mid 20s, off and on. I've had severe bouts where I have been plastered to a couch and can't move because of these things. And I've also had moments when they've just disappeared or been mild. You never forget they're there. I never have forgotten they're there. Every day I worry that they're going to come back. But I think it's important to know your body. I think it's important to know what the stressors are that exacerbate them. Now, I'm not going to say cause them, because every doctor I says, we don't know what causes them. So I'm going to use the word exacerbates. We don't know what exacerbates them, but we need to figure out what works for us as a person. All right. Some of it's diet, as this fella is saying here. Tactical Rocket is saying here. Certain foods will trigger for people. Like I said here, cold weather can trigger them. Stress, anxiety. There are different things that can trigger and exacerbate your PVCs. And again, it's different for each person. No, my DSM-5 is actually here, as my support staff wanted to know. So anyway, and everybody's different. For me, sometimes severe heat can bring them on. Severe exertion can bring them on. Or just sitting around doing nothing can bring them on. So there's no rhyme or reason. It changes, and it's ebbed and flowed over the years. So, and you bring up magnesium and things, and this is great. I love these conversations. They're really good. And this is interesting. So I'm going to read this section because I think it's important. Also, if I go outside and it's really cold in the winter, I get PVCs. If I don't warm up really soon, it turns into bigeminy or trigeminy. I found that magnesium revved up my heart, and it was very uncomfortable. I'm going to be brave and try it again, but smaller dosage, and see if it helps this time, because so many people claim they've gotten rid of them with magnesium. A word of warning: if you get dental work done, tell them you need epinephrine-free injections. Otherwise, the epinephrine and the injections can trigger PVCs, and you don't want that while having your teeth worked on. Trust me, It's double the panic. I jumped out of the dental chair in the middle of a procedure when PV started up. Great advice. I've never heard of that before. I never even thought about that. So then he says, and lastly, the guy from York Cardiology insists that people who struggle with PVCs have an underlying health anxiety. I know I did before mine started at the age of 15. I lost my mother. My grandmother died of cancer, and then my aunt died of a heart attack. Started worrying about my health. Yes, so that is possible. I agree. You know, we have an underlying health anxiety, perhaps, and I think there are other things that can cause this. Severe stress. When I talk about severe stress, I'm not talking like daily stress. I'm just talking like a stressful moment, like maybe a car accident or different things like that. We don't know. I really honestly don't think we know just yet. But we do know it's electrical. We got that much. So while we're talking about this and magnesium, and I'm sure these questions will be down later, I'm always asked, have you tried magnesium? Or are you taking magnesium? I was taking magnesium citrate for quite some time. And I think I was taking 800 milligrams a day, something around there. My cardiologist, my electrophysiologist had recommended it. In the past it's helped, but now it's not helping. But I think I found something that works for me, because even under a stressful load, I seem to be doing okay. I guess it's the caveat, the warning. I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be a doctor. So I'm not recommending that you take this stuff. Consult your physician before starting any vitamin, multivitamin, medication, exercise routine. There's my warning. You're adults. Take responsibility. Okay, so I'm going to try to hold this up so you can see it. This right here. Woo. Yep. I'm going to hold it up for just a second. I'll tell you what it is. This is Spring Valley Extra Strength Vitamin D3. It's 100. Look at me. Look over my glasses because I'm old. It's 125 microgram or 5,000 IU. I was taking another vitamin D. It didn't seem to really impact my PVCs. But I had very, very low vitamin D deficiency, which I've written about or talked about. My vitamin D is normal, and this is the doses I take. But it's interesting, when I move to this, and again, I'm not endorsing these brands at all. Use at your own risk. I'm not a doctor. Consult your physician first. This is Vegan Vitality, multivitamins and minerals. High B12, vegan D3 from lichen, and 20 other vitamins and minerals. And if you want to look this up, it's Vegan Vitality, multivitamins and minerals. I'm vegan, so I do my best to be vegan. I know some meds, the stuff they don't like to take. But anyway, these two together, this is what's working for me right now. I don't take any magnesium. Just what's in the multivitamin. Let's see how much is in here. See if I can do this without taking my glasses off. This has magnesium oxide, 42 milligrams. Now, as we all know, magnesium oxide is not a great high-quality magnesium, just in general. But these two together are working for me right now. I've stopped the magnesium altogether. My magnesium level has always been good. So, Tactile, hang in there, buddy. We're with you. I'm going to doink you here. Doink. Sactum et infirma. Let's see what we got here. As you can imagine, I'm watching this because I have the same exact struggle. Started in my early 30s. I'm 40 now. My cardiologist said they can be caused by high blood pressure. Put me on a beta blocker, worked for a while, but they're back. I will be seeking a second opinion. I feel you because I know exactly how you feel. They get to the point that it is constant feeling of They get to the point that it's a constant feeling of anxiety. There you go. Sums it up. You nailed it, brother. So I'm going to doink you. It's a constant state of anxiety. When you look at the nervous system, okay, from the polyvagal point of view, you have ventral vagal, which is safe and social, fight or flight, which is the sympathetic nervous system, and then shutdown, which is dorsal, right? We live in the sympathetic nervous system being activated constantly, right? So what that means is we're in fight or flight. Anxiety is a constant state because normally you would scan through for a threat visually, right here out in our field, right? We'd see if there are dangers. That's what we humans do as a general rule. Especially when anxiety kicks in. Ours is internal. Our threat is internal. You know, we can't look at somebody over here and say they're a threat. I can handle, deal with it, manage this. It's internal. We can do nothing about it. We rely on somebody else 100% to handle this problem. Let's say 99%. And they turn us away. So we have that constant state of anxiety. Medications have always been precarious. I know this will be asked later on. It's always asked, and it's a great question. I take zero medications. I take none. Beta blockers drop my blood pressure so low on half of the minimal dose that the last time I took them, I almost had to go to the ER. I take other medications, and I have the same effect. I've taken some, like, I can't remember the bad one. I'm blocking it mentally because it scares the hell out of me. It's the big one. It's kind of an pro-arrhythmic. Flecainide. Oh, I hate that stuff. Beta blockers, alpha channel, C channel, Flecainide, and I don't know. I think I've tried 8 different medications to zero luck. Right now, the vitamin and the vitamin D and the multivitamin are what's working for me. So no, Argon, I don't take any medication. It's going to doink you. Great question. I started about 8 months ago. This thing's ruining my life and my career. I started with a few PVCs a day, mostly during the morning, very strong and aggressive, like somebody was trying to stab me in the chest. I would love to read all this, but I'm just going to kind of scan it. I hope you don't mind. Okay, so you're going to get the ablation. How many days ago was this? So 9 days ago. So you got a bit of a wait. They were scared because about the 5 days before they have stopped the beta blocker, and I fear they'll turn to PVCs and long runs at NSVT. I can't say anything other than Jim Blog. Doink. There was a time I thought I might have a chance at an ablation. The scariest thing in the world is knowing that, one, if you're on medications, you're going to have to stop, right? And this stuff could come back. 2, the thing that scares the shit out of me is that they're going to induce these things to map them. So the more you have, the easier it is to map, is my understanding. That petrifies me. Put a gun to my face, pull the hammer back, make sure there's a bullet in the chamber. I can handle that. This is a whole new level of fear for me. So I'm with you. You get the boop. X350. I have 18,800 a day, but I don't really feel them. Didn't know how lucky I am. I'm gonna doink you because you're lucky sons of sonsa. That's the thing. Some people feel them, some people don't. And there are periods when I feel every heartbeat. I feel everything that goes on with my heart. I can tell you what the monitors are going to tell me because I feel it. So I'm happy for you, 350, that you don't feel them. I don't know if you're a man or a woman, so I was going to say bro or sis, so we'll just leave it at that. T-Rex 23, another great name. Okay, the ER. This is something that I think that a lot of people don't think about often, is that when you have these things, there's fear of death, like something seriously wrong, so you go to the ER. I don't know how many times in a 1 year period in the past where I have actually gone to the ER, ambulance to the house, they've taken me to the ER, and they do this. They run the blood work, they do the EKG, and they say they're benign, and they set you up to have a stress test echo, and you're fine, go away. But you're not okay. You're mentally being destroyed at some point. I was there. It was a long hole to dig out of. And nobody understands that. I wish I could help explain that better to people, but this is my opportunity here. So you get a boop because I've been there. You'll be 55 soon. I'm 50. I've been doing these since the 20s, man. T-Rex, I don't know if you're a male or female, doesn't matter. So hang in there. We're here. 2 weeks ago, Spoon Z. Nice emoji or avatar. Holy crap! That's exactly what I'm going on with me. I had them all my life. It's gotten so bad, it's affecting my quality of life. Quality of life, including work. Another poignant point. How do you explain to an employer that you're a very good employee, but you're having so many PVCs you can't function? Then you do FMLA. Well, FMLA only lasts so long. What do you do? And they keep prescribing beta blockers that don't help. Why keep prescribing something that doesn't work? I had a wonderful cardiologist who said if it doesn't work, don't do it. If it makes it worse, don't take it. And that's been my philosophy. If I take a medication that makes me feel worse, like with flecainide, the last time I took it, I mean, I felt like I had 10 elephants jumping across my chest. I thought I was having a heart attack. So yeah, I don't want to take that stuff. I don't, and I'm with you, Spoons. Hang in there. Blink. 3 weeks ago, Pamela. See, Pamela, yeah, I've had PVCs so frequently that when I've stood up or tried to move or do something, I just feel lightheaded. You know, I don't know about standing or switching positions. I know a few weeks ago I was coming up the stairs where I work into my office, and I started having just a few PVCs, and of course I'm exerting and the blood's not flowing. So yeah, I felt lightheaded in those situations and faint. Did I boop the last guy? Yeah. So I think it's a possibility. Ash has some information for us. Let's see. I don't know if this helps, but an episode of PSVT in March, and then PVCs became a daily occurrence for the day at rest or exertion. Interestingly, I had recently completed a 7-day antibiotic due to some kind of infection. I had the infection cleared and stupidly. I didn't take care of my gut during the antibiotic. Research told me that. Okay. Ash, you get your win. I need to go back to Woods too. So I'm gonna do Ash. I'm gonna go back to Woods. And if I forget Woods, somebody mention it in chat. Get Wood. My most severe bout of PVCs came after I took an antibiotic made by a company which I absolutely abhor now, and it destroyed my gut and fired off 20 to 23,000 of these mud puppies a day. It was the antibiotic. It destroyed my gut. I couldn't eat. I felt like my stomach was on fire all the time. I lost over 150 pounds. You want to lose some weight, but this ain't the way to do it. And it took over a year to get my stomach straightened back out. And I did that through a lot of yogurt, the probiotic yogurt. I can't say that it did. I think it helped. A lot of water and forcing myself to eat. So yeah, the gut, absolutely. Take care of your stomach. I know if I stay away from medications and I do more whole foods, plant-based, things are a lot better. And I will say this, since becoming vegetarian and antibiotic, it has gotten a lot better. That made a huge difference. Processed meat just is not my thing. If it's for you, that's your thing. But for me, it's helped immeasurably. And after stopping the meat, I've actually seen an improvement in my valves, interestingly enough. So Ash, doink. Let's go back to Wood. Okay, Wood's Hope Garage. Yep, take you over. Don't you get that one? They do. It's like something comes, grabs you, and takes control of your life, and you become so myopic on PVCs, you forget joy, happiness. You know, those things they're secondary. It's just getting to the next moment, the next heartbeat. That's what it's about. So yeah, man, this stuff's great. I've been told to mention my Discord. I wanted to set up like a message board and stuff like that, but that's so much to maintain, and I don't have time. Maybe as we get bigger and we can get people to be more involved in this role. So I started a Discord channel. The link's somewhere down in there, somewhere in the magic world. If you go there, you can sign up on the Discord. It's very basic. We just have a general chat and a general voice chat. So jump in there and get her going. And we're going to try to use that as a resource. YouTube is so slow with messaging, like, because there are a few YouTube videos up here and I'm very busy. I can't do everything because I still work full time. So having that Discord where each member can interact with each other, I think is a lot better. So we're going to give it a try. You made me feel not alone. Doing criteria, Art Lover. I tell you, and that's why this started. This started because the doctor tells me there are a lot of people that suffer from PVCs, but I never met one. I'd spent years, never met anybody else in this world that had a PVC, that had even understood it. Now I've met a few in real life. It's almost like seeing a baby pigeon. So that's why I started. This is why I did this, because I just, even if it, just these videos, somebody gets the knowledge that, man, that we're out there. I have over 400 unique subscribers to this channel. Now that tells you, this isn't, I don't publish this channel. I don't advertise it. I don't go out there and try to tell everybody to subscribe as I hit the subscribe button on my screen. But we're a unique group and we are out there. We're out there and there's more of us than you think. So we're not alone. So check out the Discord channel, subscribe to this channel, and we'll start interacting more. We're going to do more to interact. I really struggled with that, being busy. Christina, sorry. Yes, I've had SVT. SVT was a unique experience for me because I've had PVs for so long, so it was something totally different. But I found that managing them the same way I did my PVCs was beneficial. SVT for me was very much diet driven. It was a deficiency, and that's when I had the really severe vitamin D deficiency for me. So I always recommend everybody get your vitamin D checked. Check it out. Can't hurt. You get a boops. All right. Claudia Ortez, good evening. I've been suffering for 9 days. So many EKGs. I tell you, if I had the money I've spent on EKGs, I can buy a Ferrari. Or like the implantable monitors and all the medical stuff, I could buy a Ferrari. Doctors say they're benign, but I'm scared to death, especially because I've been having weird dreams. I don't think they take me seriously. That's what Claudia says. I know the feeling. I've been to the hospital so many times. I'm sure the ambulance crews got to know, okay, this is where we're going. This is just going to be a no call here. It's a blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I mean, we're that weird part of the population that I think they dismiss because, oh, it's benign. You're structurally sound. Nobody cares. You're going to be fine. Well, that's not it. And this ties to very closely our lack of utilization, understanding, and implementation of mental health services. If we had more respect on the mental health side, we would be less dismissed. Or we'd be just dismissed less because they would take that seriously. And it's my hope that someday we get there. So Izzy says, does it occur most after eating or exercise for you? Mine are so random sometimes. High stress situations that can kick in, not every time. Sometimes I can just be sitting on a couch and just chilling and vegging and feeling really good. And then, bam, out of the blue, I'm right back in it. So it doesn't matter. I will tell you, though, I did have one moment that was like, scared the dog shit out of me. It was a period of calm and quiet. The PVCs were quiet. And I was running 4 miles every other day. And then I would take a day and run like 7 miles and then rest and then do all this. And I felt really good. Lots of energy, stamina, and all this stuff. So one day I just started running. I put on a little extra speed, feeling good. You know, hey, I finally reached some goals here. I was even running in the 5Ks and stuff. And then I was running and all of a sudden, my heart rate was already elevated because I was running, but then it just took off. I mean, it went like crazy. It's still the fastest I've ever felt, I think. and then it went completely out of rhythm, and I almost passed out in the middle of it where I was running. So exercise for me is precarious because that moment always sticks in the back of my mind. So you get a boops. 500% agree, says Jose. I was diagnosed with PVCs and GERD. They're a combination. Let's see. Oh, wow. No one has been able to do the connection between PVCs or benign and GERD. It's not a life-threatening condition. It can decrease quality of life. PVCs and GERD can decrease the quality of life of a young, healthy person in 2 weeks. In weeks to absolutely miserable. Absolutely. I was talking about the antibiotics. I hit the antibiotics, destroyed my entire system, gave me GERD. I even had, I forget what, a pH study where they run the tube down your nose for 24 hours, which is, I think I'd rather run naked down a street than have that done again. But they were very dismissive. My stomach was destroyed. It was causing the PVCs. They wouldn't fix anything. They put me on the proton pump inhibitors, but that wasn't that. The bacteria in my stomach and my digestive system, I think, was nuked. And it took a long time, over a year, to get that back into shape. So yes, you can be a young, healthy person, and in like that, you're not the same person anymore. You're miserable. Quality of life goes down. Happiness is aloof. What do you do, Jose? It sucks, brother. Charlene. She's been going through this since 2015. It was very life-altering. You guys know this stuff. Isn't it interesting that the people here who have it speak so well about what it does to their life? I mean, isn't that just amazing? That we understand it, we can verbalize it, but the people we trying to get to hear us just refuse to. Oh, she's got good news. Let's read this. An electrocardiologist, Ali Muhammad, at Capital Cardiologists in upstate New York, went a cardiac catheterization ablation in November 10th, 2021. And I got to tell you, I feel absolutely amazing. A little sore, but that's to be expected. He listened, and they put a loop monitor in, and he had the ablation done on November 10th. Or she, I'm sorry, Charlene, I called you, dude. Deltiazem 108. See, I tried that drug, but I couldn't take it. Well, I hope this is the thing. Okay, folks. Take a look at this. She says we hope we follow. Sorry, scratching my nose. I know that's unprofessional. She found an electrocardiologist, Ali Muhammad, at Capital Cardiologist in upstate New York. Look him up. It's right there on the screen. Charlene, thank you so much for putting a name out there. This is Sonia. I'm kind of reading in my head there. You can read on the screen because I hate to read every word. If you're like me, I hate having things read to me. 4 in a row is unbelievable. I hope you're doing well off of this. Please come back and tell us if anything is covered to help you. Again, I'm going to repeat it since we're about 43 minutes into the video. This combination, again, check with your doctor before you take any supplements, vitamins, medications, to make life changes in diet. You know the routine. You're adults. You're responsible people. It's on you. Vegan Vitality, multivitamins and minerals. It looks like that. I don't know if that's a good picture or not, but we'll go with it. And then Spring Valley Extra Strength Fast Dissolve Vitamin D3. Right there. It's 5,000 ICU. This is what it took to, hey, the person that just posted that to me, could you put that in the chat? This combination right now is working for me. And how do I know? Well, that's the question. How do we really know? Without doing a study, this is all anecdotal at best. But here's what I did. I was taking magnesium citrate, and I think it was about 800 milligrams a day. Plus, I was taking another brand of vitamin D. And then I was taking vitamin B1. Some success. I'd still have breakthroughs. So I tried this multivitamin, and I switched over to this vitamin D3 because this is what we had. And this seemed to work, so I stopped the magnesium. Magnesium was having no effect with me whatsoever. I don't know why. I don't know if ramping it up would help, but this combination was working for me. May not work for you, but always talk to your doctor before you make changes and stuff. So I hope, Sonia, that answers your question. Carlos, thank you. I appreciate you stopping by. We're at 45 minutes. I'm just going to keep rolling until my voice gives out. I have no liquid to kind of lube the throat, the vocal cords. You know what I'm saying? Alicia, Amanda. Okay. Oh, this is the KardioMobile EKG, which mine is not readily available right now. Just bought this to see what my palpitations were, since my cardiologist wants to keep telling me I have irregular heartbeats and I don't die. Don't worry. But that doesn't help. Keep getting regular sinus rhythm PVC. QRS, so that's interesting. Hey, I want to say something about this. This has been very helpful to me. It's simply because this little device is actually, you know, I have this 6 lead. There's a single lead and a 6 lead EKG. I have this 6 lead, and this thing is great. I take this when I need to go somewhere. If I'm worried, I take it. But if something happens or I feel something in here, I will use this and I will capture. I think I have mine set at 60 seconds. So I do a minute capture. And I think there's a part of me that has said everything that I feel here is a PVC or heart related. And I think I've convinced myself over the years, because I'm not sure, that it's always something bad. And I remember what kind of led me to get this was I had to go through to an endoscopy because I thought I was having really bad, severe GERD and there was damage to my esophagus. Wasn't, looking up. But right before I went under, I felt like I was having SVT, like my heart was racing, it was skipping beats. The EKG was normal. Okay, now, for people out there say, well, that's all in your head. No, it's not my head. I have mountains of EKGs to prove otherwise. Oh, look at my production staff here. Woo! Metal straw and everything. Pardon me as I take a drink of my beverage. Oh, we can go all night now. Thank you to my support staff. Thank you very much. All right. So what makes this so helpful for me is now I can weed out what maybe a muscle spasm, maybe like a heartburn or esophageal spasming, I guess. This little thing is great. And you're right. You have a baseline and you can monitor your own health. We have to become advocates for ourselves, advocates for each other that suffer through this. And I think the KardioMobile is a great way. And I don't work for them. I don't promote them. I pay for my product just like everybody else does. But I love it. I think it's great. Alicia, thank you. Eve Lanes, I hope I said that right. Says I don't feel alone in my anxiety with these do nothing doctors. It is like assembly line healthcare. Okay, I'm gonna take a breath because that's a whole other topic that I'm not gonna get on. But I'm just gonna say I agree. It is assembly line healthcare. It's book as many clients in a day because you're going to have cancellations if they double up. Give less time to the clients and move on to the next. I don't know how this ever became a thing. When I grew up, I remember that private practice was very common. My physician growing up when I was a kid was private practice, who had privileges at the hospital. Now everybody works for the hospital or a clinic. Is private practice a thing? I don't know. Somebody tell me. Post in chat. To my production person, that link you put up there with the address to that person or that clinic, can you put that in chat, the YouTube chat for me? That would be great. So yeah, again, a whole different subject. Maybe we'll cover that sometime because it directly affects us and directly. Oh, you did put that in the chat? Oh, I don't see that. Well, thank you for putting that in there. I don't see it. So thank you. Starla Jean. Kind of just reading through this real quick. She said she's tried something called Carafate by prescription. It helps coat the stomach. But what helped her the most is cranberry juice. Legit. Cranberry juice. I read a study that said if you drink a certain amount of cranberry juice for 2 weeks, minimum of 2 weeks, it actually improves cognitive functioning and health stays and like memory and things like that. And this wasn't one of those hokey things you see on TV where somebody's up there pitching something. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an amazing product. No. This is just an independent research facility that study cranberry juice. So there you go. I'm getting question marks. I don't understand what your questions mean. From my production staff, just so you know, I have production person back there going question mark, question mark, question mark. I don't know what they're doing, but they did bring me a drink. It's my beverage. It's very nice. It's cold water. I love cold water. And let's talk about. I'm gonna boop you both, you guys. I'd like everybody to get a little boop. Hold on. Folks, I am gonna grab a little something here because this was in here, and I want to make sure it gets in the chat right. So, can you guys see that? You can't see that. Oh no! I'm gonna post this in chat. And if somebody would tell me if they see that, if anybody, somebody's watching, would somebody put something in the chat and say that they got that they see that? Because previously somebody had mentioned this clinic, that there was somebody there who took it very seriously and listened. I think it might be a good resource to check out. I don't know if it's visible. Yeah, go ahead and put that in Discord too. Production person. I'll call her Dema. Dema's my production person. I keep looking that way because that's my second monitor. Sorry. So Starla Jean, thank you. Miguel, thank you. Is that Miguel? I'm sorry. I don't read. I'm not sure who that is, but I'm sorry if I get it wrong. I'll heart you because if I get that wrong. 5:17 a.m. I've been awake since 2:20 because I've gotten about a PVCs and by Gemini every time I tried to sleep. Man, you guys, it's just so relevant and so prescient that you guys mention these things, because I've had this where you lay down, and as soon as you lay down and try to go to sleep, bam, they start kicking in. Now you would think, trying to get into REM sleep, that you would just go to sleep, right? You'd be calm and cool, and we have structurally sound hearts, but then all of a sudden we hit this stuff. It just comes out of nowhere, and sleep is impossible after that. So for me, what I have to do in those moments is, this is really bad, but I do it because it works, is I'll put my headphones in on my phone, like one ear, real low volume, and I'll put a TV show on. Like for me, it's like Scrubs or sorry, Family Guy, or just something like that I've watched 100 times. And it seems to quiet the part of the brain that's being activated by whatever this is, whether it's, the blood shifting and the heart reacting to the blood distribution in the body when you're laying down, or if it's something to do with psychology and sleep and REM. I don't know. I really don't. Hang in there, Kelly. Ooh. I would love to say that it'll get better. I don't know. It takes time, but we are here for you. I'm sorry it's taken us a month to get back to you, but hang in there. Kelly Myers again says, beta blockers made my breathing terrible, and it was horrible because I felt like the only solution I had to stop the PVCs. Yes, beta blockers, boop, same thing with me. They destroy my breathing and lower my blood pressure too much. It was so bad that cognitively, I couldn't function. If you'd asked me to tie my shoes, I could have been able to do it. All right. So I feel like we're in a conversation, Kelly, so we're just going to keep rolling. I love all your videos. Thanks. No, thank you for being here. It's important that we have a community. You're part of our community, so welcome. Yep. That very thought is what makes it 1,000 times worse. It's amazing that our own brains can screw with us, that thinking can make things worse for us. As an example, for me in the past, in certain situations, I mean, I'll tell you literally, every thought was, is the next beat, I die. Is this it? Am I dead? I'm a therapist, so I sit in a room with clients, and I have to be in the moment. I have to be completely focused on a client. But there are times when I've had atrial runs. I've had PVCs that fight for that focus and that attention. And most of the times I win, sometimes I lose. But it's not easy. Second part of our more conversation from Kelly. She feels every PC too. Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys are fantastic. You can tell when you're going to get one, that weird feeling in your chest. Yes, absolutely. I would really love to hear from other people that we can almost tell when these things are going to start kicking off. You have a weird sensation in your chest, and sometimes it's in your head or whatever. And I'd like to get more into the nervous system, but I want to get through as many of these comments as I can. And we're already almost at an hour, but I'm going to keep rolling because I feel feeling good. Got my liquid refreshment, vocal lubricant. But yes, you can almost tell. And I can tell my response to that is I start moving inward and less outward, less vocal. I become less, my vision tends to peer down, and I know it's going to happen. Here she is awake at 4 a.m. with By Gemini. By Gemini's the worst. Okay, I've had it too. I had By Gemini for over an hour at one time, and I told my doctor that. My doctor says, "So what?" I'm not a violent person, but if there was ever time to smack somebody in the mouth and teach them some manners, perhaps that was it. Not saying it is. Not saying it is. But yeah, it's frustrating when you're trying to sleep. There was a period then where every time I went to sleep, the PVCs kicked in at the worst. And it sounds like, Kelly, that's what's happening to you. The doctor just said, the doctor's nurse said that's just part of it. It's not part of it. Something's going on. I mean, oh, fine. Okay, if that's the case, if I'm having all these things when I sleep or when I lay down, I'll go to your office, I'll lay down and ablate the thing. Continuing my conversation with Kelly is, I hate that you're suffering like me, but also it's a relief to know I'm not alone. Exactly. Okay. Excuse me. We're not alone. There are a group of us in here, and we need to become more vocal, and I hope this is kind of a place to do it. I have over 400 subscribers, and people are watching the videos, and it's we've got to become more unified. It's just like anything else that gets attention. We got to become a squeaky wheel. We have to become a pain in somebody's ass or get a huge lobby. I'm not going to get a huge lobby started for this unless you know some giant celebrity with PVCs. We can invite them in and perhaps get some stuff moving. So Kelly, hang in there. If you're awake, we just started the Discord. So if you just go in there and post, because I know one of the things that helped me years ago, when the internet really wasn't cooking yet, things weren't really moving along, was I would write this down. It was just a way to kind of express a journal it really. And it did help. It's not going to cure anything. But also know that we're here, this group here. Look in the link. I have the Discord started. It's very new, but it's a way for us to interact. And my hope is that as we get more and more people involved, we can do live calls. I can invite you into the stream, and we can do live calls. I actually have somebody I want to respond to in chat. This is Ants. I can't see your picture too well on my screen. So it says, I'm 27 and just started having these last Sunday. Had an ECG done without anything looking at normal. Echo and Holter coming up next week. Great help looking at extra material past a couple of days. Ants, thanks for posting in the chat and commenting here. Hang in there, man. You're 27. Your journey starts a little bit where mine had. I just hope you have better results with doctors. It's good that your ECG was normal. Again, I'm not a doctor, but my experience is a normal ECG, there's nothing that's just going to pop out there and say this is horrible. And I hope your echo and Holter come up great. But you still have PVCs. So I hope you hang around. And it's been so long since I started this journey, having somebody just kind of started off bring their story in would be great. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. I'm not really pushing any of that stuff, even though you see that little thing like right now flash across the screen. It's just getting your story out. Because you're 27, I'm 50, we've got people in their 60s and 70s. We have so much to share with each other. We have so much that we can help each other with, because I don't know of any, I don't know many doctors that really give that to us. I know there's some message boards and stuff out there if you can find them, but I want something more live, more real time. So I hope this is helpful. Again, thanks for posting that. I hope that goes great for you. Let us know when you get your results back. Let us know. I would appreciate it. If you're still there, I was going to ask you, what was it like to get your first PVC? When you first started having them, what did you think was going on? For me, it was, I thought my heart was going to stop or explode out of my chest. If that makes sense. So, yeah, again, Anne, thanks for commenting. I'm going to go back to our good friend here, Kelly. She said the ECGs, echoes, and halters too. I'm getting production notes here. Give me just a second as I continue to talk about this stuff. Ba-doop-ba-doo. Ba-doop-ba-doo. I just want to say that the Discord is a work in progress. So if you join that, I hope you join that. Post. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to do that so we can communicate with each other. Like I said, the idea is I want to do more live streams, but I want to have a voice conversation with you all. I want to bring one person in at a time and just let's talk and record this so other people can come in and share in this moment and say, hey, that's me. I need that support. Because the more we talk about it, if you read a lot of the comments, people are just happy to know that there are other people out there. Okay? And I appreciate everybody watching. I do. I'm booping as many of you as you can. I can't read that. I believe that's Arabic. I'm sorry. But you're right. PVCs are a pain in the ass. Okay. This person has had an ablation but still suffering. Sometimes I hope to die because of it. It's so sad that the medical evaluation cannot create a real cure for it. I'm going to boop you and I'm going to heart you. I have been there. I really, really have been there. It's been a few years, but when I took the antibiotics and they destroyed my gut, I was having, like I said, anywhere from 20,000 to I think 23,000 a day, and I'm sure it was higher some days. It was a struggle just to say why. What's the point? I can't get off the couch every time I take a step. There's a PVC. Every time I do something, a PVC kicks off. I feel lightheaded. I can't eat. I'm so terrified that I become immobilized, and that happened for over a year. So do I get that year of my life back? No, I don't get that back. Did the doctor seem to care? Nah, they didn't seem to care. So I'm going to kind of move a little bit more to the live chat, and I'm sorry I booped your heart. I don't know your name. I really am sorry. I'm going to kind of address, we got some folks in the chat, so I'm going to kind of move over here a little bit. We'll try to get back to the messages. Okay. So I had asked Ants a couple of questions, but we also have somebody named Detecting Missouri. I think Missouri because that's the state. I never had PVCs until my Pfizer vaccine. 0 to 1,000 a day, plus POTS and other inflammation stuff. Nearly 9 months later, most are gone unless walking or low intensity, 90 to 110. I'm not sure BPS. Okay. Oh, you get 90 to 110 an hour. I'm sorry, I get that now. When I first got the vaccine, Ants, and I'm going to be there just a sec. When I first got the vaccine, this was my biggest worry. I can't take medications. If I take a medication, it has an impact on me pretty severely. Okay, so I have to be very careful. The vaccine scared the hell out of me. But I did it because for me personally, and we're not going to get into a big discussion about vaccines. For me, my family is the right thing to do. But it scared the hell out of me. And, you know, this gentleman, I'm sorry, I don't know if you're male or female. That's just me. I apologize. But now you've had them, but they've subsided. So, I'm sorry that it happened to you. it sucks. But trying to, and let's use and I'm glad that you're here, because you were a person that didn't have them and now have them and they're subsiding. You can become an ally and help inform other people. And I'm sorry you had to go through that. And I hope they continue to lessen and eventually go away for you. I really do. But thank you for posting that, because that was always a concern of mine when I was taking the vaccine. I've had the initial dose, the second dose of the vaccine, and now I've had the booster. The second booster, the booster I got kind of sick on. I haven't had any cardiac symptoms, but I think that's because of maybe what I'm taking. I don't know yet. Okay. So Ants, again, Detective Missouri, thank you very much. Ant says, well, basically I was cleaning my car from snow, felt having heavy skip beats randomly and weakness in my chest. After that, it has not stopped. The most bothersome is not knowing what the future holds. Can I hold my job? Continue with my band? Okay, I'm going to continue with the ants here real quick. We're very much in the same boat. I am sorry these things have started for you. At 27, it's horrible, I remember. But you're also worried about your job, which is what a lot of us do. People that switch up. I actually left owning my own business because I just couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it, so I had to go to work for somebody else because I didn't want to deal with all the day-to-day stuff. But now you're worried about your band. I'm a musician too. I'm a drummer and a guitarist, mostly drummer, because drummers rock. So now, like when I play, aggressively on the drums, it's in my mind. Do I continue? There was a period where I was still able to play out live, but it's worrisome. You worry about it all the time. It's the future. That's quality of life, Ants. That's what we're talking about. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that. Lucas Boyle says, don't forget about the headaches. You're absolutely right. How many people get headaches with their PVCs? I do. But sometimes when they're big enough, I get a headache. I often thought, is if I get a migraine, does that affect the PVCs? Because I have silent migraines with aura sometimes, right? It looks like a little lightning bolt. There's light in your vision. Does that affect it? I don't know. I don't know if there's a correlation there, but I do get headaches from PVCs. And sometimes it's pretty bad. Lucas, thank you very much for making that comment. Anybody else, let me know if you get headaches with it. Or what other features do you have with yours? I get shortness of breath. I get chest pain, headaches, and I almost get a sense of dissociation. Like I turn inward so much that I'm stuck in that moment of fear, and it's paralyzing. I've literally gone to the point of shutdown, paralyzed with this stuff. It's freaking ridiculous. Lucas, thank you very much. I'm gonna move to Ash. Ash says, I'm 37 and I've had these daily since March of 2021. And I'm sorry you had to join the club. After taking a round of antibiotics. There's another one. It hurt my gut massively. My TSH thyroid also began to drop rapidly until it became subclinical hyperthyroid. I don't know how much you know about antibiotics, you folks. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical person at all. I've just been dealing with this shit for a while. And I think antibiotics are just... I had a cold. They thought it was an upper respiratory infection. Thankfully, it wasn't COVID. And they prescribed me antibiotics and steroids. I didn't take the steroids, really, because that caused me a problem. But what was worse were the steroids. I forget which one it was. If my production person's on, hit me up. Let me know if you can tell me what they were. But the steroids, inflamed. They went nuts. So I will never take oral steroids again. I had constant PVCs. I had trigemini. I had bigemini on steroids. They stimulate. They're stimulants. So I said no. I'm never taking an oral steroid, and I'm never taking an antibiotic unless it's absolutely necessary, like if I have a procedure or something. But I'm not sticking that stuff in there. just not going to happen, because I think you're going to see, if you look through a lot of the posts and stuff in the comments, folks, antibiotics do damage to us. Okay. So, okay. Detective Missouri, Beast from Heart. Thank you very much. A 42-year-old male. Okay, so you're a little younger than I. You're still a young fella. I'm still a young fella. I look gorgeous, don't I? No, I'm just kidding. Ash, I took Moderna in June and then a second shot of Moderna in July, which reignited my symptoms terribly. Worst PVCs I've ever experienced were July and August. I don't regret it. Yeah, that's what I was really worried about. I'm sorry that it happened to you, and I really like to know how many people with PVCs, SVT, packs and stuff were affected by the vaccination, because being in the mental health world, I always think, is it a psychological response? For me, I'm not going to speak for you, but for me, would I have a psychological response to that stuff? Probably, because I have PVCs and packs and SVT. But, so, I got to be careful. But yeah, I wonder how much is due to the vaccine. I'd still do it. I've had some problems with it. I'm not going to lie. I think, this booster's caused some issues, but I would definitely do it again. Ash, I took Moderna too. I wanted to mention that. All 3 of my shots were Moderna. Excuse me there. Ants goes on. Ants, I really appreciate you being here. I really do. Thank you very much. I'm just getting thumps in my chest, but it greatly upsets me up in the head. Can't imagine living a normal life with it. Also set up psychiatrics meeting to see if it might be connected to anxiety. Okay, great. I'm biased here, but I'm gonna throw it out there. When I'm a therapist, and this is not therapy, let's keep that in mind. When I have my own therapist, I feel better when I see a therapist. I do. I'm not saying it's going to heal or cure or anything, but I do see a therapist. How much of this is psychologically connected? I don't think, for me, it's causal, but I think stress, anxiety, overload exacerbates everything. Okay, I think something else was the cause, perhaps, but so great. Great to hear that. I'm glad you said that in chat, that you had the courage to say that in chat. Thank you very much. Is working out with this condition prohibited, or is it a possibility to continue as a normal, otherwise healthy person? I'm going to answer that question for me, not you. You should really ask your doctor. I can't give you advice or things like that. I have always been told that to go on is normal. Just keep carrying on. Exercise, run, do everything like that. Mentally, that's difficult. But that's what I've been told. I would ask your physician and see what they tell you. But that's a great question, because that's what we have to kind of deal with. And you use great wording here. Absolutely fantastic wording. Continue as a normal, otherwise healthy person. We start thinking that we're not healthy anymore. And now mentally, this can make you unhealthy. Physically, that's still a question for some folks. Okay. Ants, again, thank you very much. I'm going to get to you. We'll just keep working down the comments. Thank you. Ash says, antibiotics are so hard on your system and doctors prescribe them like they're a candy in my experience. Only take them if you absolutely have to. Thank you. I'm going to give you applause, Ash. Thank you very much. I agree with you 100%. I remember years ago, they were like candy. They would hand these things out like it was Halloween. Take the antibiotics. Take the antibiotics. And so much damage has been not only to gut health and the bacteria in our guts and stuff in our digestive system, but also to how we can resist bacteria or bacterium now. We have problems with that. So Ash, thank you very much. Round of applause. Ants, how were your PVCs diagnosed? Did they show up on ECG, Holter with some differentiable characteristics? Well, mine were caught on ECG. Clear as day. When I first... Let me back that up. I'm getting ahead of myself. The first bouts that I went to a doctor and they guessed. That sounds like PVCs. And they sent me home, sent me away. Started having more. Finally, they were able to catch them on an ECG, confirm that they were PVCs. I had an echo confirmed the structural integrity of my heart, and told they were fine, just go away. That's how mine were initially diagnosed. The Holter is essentially an ECG that's portable. So if they're there, they're going to catch them. I think the last one I was on was a 7-day Holter, and this has been a little bit. So usually, and they'll catch some other things too. I gotta mention this. Ants and Ash, you guys are just fantastic, as well as Detective. You guys are fantastic. Somebody mentioned, I think we was looking at the comments. Everybody has PVCs. Everybody has things that go onto their hearts that are regular. They just don't feel them. It doesn't bother them. So if you have a long-term echo or Holter, or it's not echo, but a Holter ECG, you're going to pick up other things. The last ECG I got, the last Holter I had so many things on it. But that's kind of normal. Our hearts aren't perfect. So I got to remind myself, of that too. Ash says, one thing that's helped me is light exercise. The exercise caused more when I first started, but they've started to lessen as I've continued. Also medication and focused stress relief. Exercise, yeah. Anything that's going to strengthen the heart. Exercise is precarious for me for a number of reasons I don't want to get to. But exercise, diet, all the things you hear are logical and reasonable to try. They really are. So think about those things. Talk to your doctor and see how they are with those things, and you figure out what's best for you. Ash, great stuff. Meditation and focused stress relief. I used to scoff at this, but when you learn about the nervous system, the ventral vagus, this sympathetic, parasympathetic, and dorsal, you understand what meditation and yoga does to improving your nervous system and how these things work. Okay, I'm not going to get into all that now, but yeah. So I have a whole new outlook on that stuff. Stress relief, that's a big one. I think it's important to remember what stress we have and how we're reacting to it. Where is it in your body? My stress is in my head and my chest. If something's happening, and it's two places I'm going to feel it. If it's in my chest, there's a good chance PVCs are coming. So I got to be very careful. Ann says, I used to hit the gym regularly, but since COVID started, my exercise. Yes, COVID. Since I'm a very indoors person, then it might be caused by a lack of physical activity. I wish I could say. I don't know. There are times when I exercise, I feel better. Sometimes I sit and am dormant for a while, that I feel horrible. If I exercise, sometimes I'll get a lot of PVCs, and sometimes if I just sit and dormant for a while, I feel better. So for me, there's no rhyme or reason. So I don't know. That'd probably be best to ask the doctor. Again, I know we kind of disparage doctors sometimes, but they do have insight and information. They do have the science. They I don't want to say this. There's the practical physiological science side of it. I got my hands in my face. But then there's also the mental health side of it that they don't understand. So I do believe that if a doctor recommends something like diet, exercise, and stuff like that, I listen. I don't always listen on diet because now this is me. This is my belief system. This is how I think of things. This is not for anybody out there. And I'm not saying you should change. But when I gave up meat, things got exponentially better right away. Now, I've had breakthrough moments. But overall, consistently, I have felt better going vegan. All right. Now, that's a choice I made. I'm not pushing that on anybody. But it varies from person to person, right? So you just gotta kind of figure out which with you, talk with your doctor on those things. I hope I didn't get too far off the subject there. And on Maki, I'm not sure what that means. And it's the most worrisome is the fact that probably I'm getting the same response. Everything looks fine, and some irregular beats are totally normal. It's not normal. It's not normal. If it was normal, then I don't know. Would more people have it? Would more people feel it? I don't know. It's not normal for me. I don't feel normal. Okay, Ash responded to Ants. Great, I'll let them take care of the Ants. Ant says totally understandable. At the moment, I would not feel like I'm from getting to near the gym. Me either. Me neither. Detective Missouri. I was running 40 miles a week with a great diet when mine started, so that wasn't really anything to improve on. Okay. Isn't it interesting though? You have a perfectly healthy heart. You have a heart that is serving you well. You're running 40 miles a week, and kudos to you, man. You're now my official hero. And you have a great diet, and you feel yours is more caused by injury than all other common causes. So I think we have like a subsets of what we think might be causes. My initial horrible bout of the 20 to whatever it was, 23,000 a day, I think that was caused by antibiotics. I think there's almost a direct link, and we've seen a few cases that gut health and stuff like that. For other people, I think it's maybe severe traumatic moments. So I think there's like multiple causes in here, but the result is it takes away life. It takes away joy. It takes away all the fun things that we're supposed to be doing right now, and we can't do them because we worry about this stuff all the time. I mean, I'm curious of all the members out there in chat and stuff. Is what part of the day do you stop worrying about it? When do you stop worrying about it? When is your mind totally unfocused off of your heart? Whether it's SVT, PVC packs, atrial runs, AFib, when is it? When is your mind not on that? Ants, I'd be curious, since this is kind of new for you. I mean, how much is it on your mind? Okay, thank you, detecting. You were dismissed for a month until Dr. Pond agreed vaccine was the cause. They were not willing to listen. That's common for us. That's very common. I've had, I think, oh my gosh, I think I've had 7, maybe 8 cardiologists over my lifetime so far. So, and out of that 8, I think I've had 2 that gave me the time to actually listen. So that's not very good percentage. Oh, great. I love the interaction. Ants, I try to stop worrying when I go off to bed. Then I can only accept that if I die, I die. Well, that's the way to put it. Yeah, I mean, some days you have to have that, it's sad to say, but some days you have that mentality of, this is it, what can I do about it? I can't get anybody to listen, they can't fix it. If this is it, I'm going to go. You're going to die. I haven't died yet. I'm going to put it that way. I haven't died yet, as you can tell, because if I was non-corporeal, I don't know how well the light would refract off me. Yeah, I've had those thoughts too. They come and go. Great interaction, guys. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you being here. I'm going to hit this special button right here. Don't forget that we have a Discord. It's a way to communicate. It's kind of a message board, but not a message board. There's a voice component to it. There's the text part of it. Again, the idea is to have people engage in Discord. And essentially, Discord is really just a way for people to interact with each other and talk to each other. And you can voice conference and video conference. So my thinking was, instead of the traditional message board, I think those are so cold and uninviting that through Discord, when I do these live events, I can invite people into a voice call and we can talk back and forth, and then other people can listen to that. So don't forget the Discord. The link's in the description below, I believe. Ash says, when it first started, I was so scared to sleep. Sometimes I still feel that and worry my heart will stop. It's been nearly a year and I'm still here. Thank you, Ash. Thank you for being here. Ants, detecting. We're still here, and we still get to annoy doctors. I guess that's the upside. We get to be a pest to people that won't listen. And I think someday we'll get there. And I think it's just going to take a concerted effort by folks like you and me, and this channel and other channels, or how many other people out there, is to get the medical community to understand there is a mental health component that this has to be addressed. Yep. Yeah, in theory. And it works sometimes, Ants. It really does. Sometimes it does work to say it's just not gonna. I'm not gonna let them bother me today. And sometimes it does work. But for some people, it's a varying degree. If somebody's having like a lot of them, that's very hard, and it just depends on how it impacts each other. But you're right. That's what we try to do. Not let them bother me, or let them bother us. If you know what I mean. And thanks for that comment, because I think that's important. Well, guys, I didn't really get to all the comments. I appreciate the chat. I think you guys are fantastic. Thank you for coming into chat. It's comforting for me and helpful for me to read what other people are going through, and and it's just kind of just it's kicking off for him. Hopefully, it doesn't last long. I really do. I got my fingers crossed right there. So seems like we got a good chat. So I'm gonna kind of just breeze through these real quick. Maybe Mark, we're on Gorov Roy. I can't pronounce that. Chowdhury. So we're gonna give them a boops. Give them a boops because Scotia, they are. Gonna give you a boop. I'm gonna stop here because I think this is a good place to stop. We have been going for, let me look at the magic clock here. We're almost at an hour 30. I think it's a good place to stop. We're going to pick this up again. I want to thank everybody that came into the chat. You guys are fantastic. For the folks that have joined the Discord, thank you so much. That's a work in progress. We're going to start adding things. My production staff wants to know when I'm going to... Oh, Jake, thanks for coming in. He says his PVCs happen when his VP gets elevated. Jake, thanks for stopping in. I really appreciate it. My production staff wants to know when I'm going to stream again. I think we're going to do this Saturday, which would be the 8th. I will post something on the YouTube channel for you to see when that's going to be. And hopefully we can have great interaction again. I'm hoping this is valuable to people. It's valuable to me. I love reading other people's story and being engaged with this stuff. I'm in a central time zone, so I think we'll shoot for the afternoon, evening of the 8th. Like I said, I'll post it as a mention, or however you do that on YouTube, let everybody know. But again, thanks for stopping by. You folks are great. I hope you get something from this. I get so much from you guys. I want to say thanks again. Let's go back. Let's just leave it there. It's fine. So again, thank you. I'm going to log off now. Great chat. Great folks. Hang in there. We'll be around again. All right, guys. Thanks so much.